Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. President Rhonda Renz presiding. Very excited about today, so I just couldn't wait any longer. We're going to just get going. Okay, our song and pledge is presented today by past President Corey Nickerson. Visitor introduction will be by Michael Turner. And now, our invocation will be given by Jerry Dillon.
Since we are honoring our international founder, Paul Harris, I'd like to quote a brief statement of prayer that he made some time ago. He said, "God, grant that my vision of the faults of men and women and of nations be dimmed by my vision of their virtues be brightened." God, grant that my vision of the faults of men and women and nations be dimmed, and my vision of their virtues be brightened. So, Almighty God, we are thankful for the privilege we have of meeting today as Rotarians. As we reflect upon our club's 100 years of service, we're inspired by the many who have been faithful within our club to our motto of service above self. We realize the privilege and the honor which we have of being joined together in a worldwide fellowship devoted to the ideal of service. May we seek your wisdom today, so to be able in the days ahead to make ever greater contributions to the world of understanding through our association in Rotary. Help us always to realize the truism, those who profit the most are those who serve the best. Amen.
Let's sing America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, guests, to a beautiful July 16, 2014 day of Rotary Club of Tulsa. President Rhonda had promised in her campaign for the presidency that the third week of July of her term would be beautiful, so thank you so much, President Rhonda, for that. We have quite a few guests today, and if you'll hold your applause till the very, very end, we would appreciate that. Very privileged again to introduce Matt Moratori. He is the son of our member Jerry Moratori, and of course a classmate of Northeastern State University in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Good to have you guys here. A little shout out there. Today we have Tim Fernandez with TCC. He's the guest of Ron Walker. Tim, good to have you here today. Corporal George Fry is the guest of Police Chief Chuck Jordan. Don Rabonum is the guest of member Don Rabonum, and he's visiting from Tallahassee, Florida. Nathaniel Porter is the guest of Trudy Sweeten. Nathaniel is with SMG BOK Center. Jay Henderson is the guest of Sandra Mullins. Sharon Parker is the guest of Jack McGlumphy. And we have another special guest with us today, Tim Bickers, who's with the Waterwell Project in Zimbabwe, is the guest of Jerry Dillon. Tom Montgomery is the guest of Bob McKenzie. And we have a great representatives of the Keck family today. We have Alex, Catherine, and Connie, members of Greg. Good to have you here. Whitney Collins with Spirit Bank is the guest of President Rhonda Renz. And Becky Fields did not put who her host is. Brenda, thank you. We just thought, hey, that's pretty progressive that you don't care who you're with, you're just coming to Rotary, so thank you. I believe she's a member in waiting, if I am correct on that. Let's give a hand for everyone that's guests with us today. For visiting Rotarians, we are very privileged to have quite a few members of the Rotaract Club who were also invited by President Rhonda. We have Hunter Maddox. Hunter? Natasha Harris, and Mindy Strang. Again, great to have everyone here today. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael and Corey and Jerry. Now I'd like to welcome our Rotary sponsors. We have Casey King with the Doubletree by Hilton. And I do want to give a shout out to Casey. Where are you, Casey? There you are in the back. Casey has been kind enough to help take care of our guest that's here today and brought him to Rotary and gave him a place to sleep last night. So thank you, Casey, for that. Jeff Hassel with Gable Gottwells and Counsel. Bob Parker with Robert E. Parker Attorney. And Tony Oliva with Storage Plus by 5R Inc. We encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. Please let's thank our sponsors and all of our volunteers who helped us today. And now we are going to have T.C. Blair come to the podium. He's going to be doing a memorial resolution.
Before I get started today, I'd like to go ahead and introduce some special guests. If they would go ahead and stand and remain standing until the list is completed. Karen Nally, Carol Bennett, Paige Bennett, Connie Morris, Gary Morris, Pam Morris, Julie Vaverka, Stuart Vandeweil, and Eva Blair. I know the last one. Anyway, thank you. I first met Tom Nally in the summer of 1969 at the University of Tulsa, and we were best of friends from that point going forward. It was kind of unusual that we would meet in Tulsa since we both grew up in Michigan. Thomas Patrick Nally passed away May 23, 2014, peacefully at his home after battling cancer for over 2 years. Tom was born on September 2nd, 1951 in Juneau, Alaska, to Thomas J. and Margaret A. Nally, but spent most of his early years growing up in Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan. His athletic accomplishments at St. Paul School led to a football scholarship at the University of Tulsa. Following his graduation in 1973, Tom attended the University of Tulsa Law School, receiving his law degree and passing the bar in 1976. He was immediately hired by Jerry Nichols and became a member of the law firm later to be known as Nichols, Wolf, Stamper, Nally, Fallis, and Robertson. This firm later merged with Hall, Essel, Hardwick, Gable, Golden, and Nelson. Tom loved the law, his partners, his co-workers, and his clients. He was also available to his friends, providing timely legal advice when needed. Tom married the love of his life, Karen Morris Nally, on October 22nd, 1977. They made their home in Tulsa, where they enjoyed life together for over 36 years, raising 3 beautiful and successful children. Since high school, sailing was always a significant part of Tom's life. He taught all 3 of his children how to sail and was Commodore of the Windy Crest Sailing Club at Lake Keystone. Most of Tom's family vacations involved sailing, usually in the Caribbean, the Eastern Seaboard, and on the Great Lakes. Being a lifetime member of the University of Tulsa Lettermen's Association and a big fan, Tom regularly attended Tulsa football and basketball games. Tom truly believed in the importance of education and family. He was responsible for the many custom banners that were always presented to his numerous nephews and nieces to celebrate graduations and weddings. Tom sincerely appreciated his time in Rotary. He particularly enjoyed the fellowship with other Rotarians at the weekly luncheons, ringing the Salvation Army bells with me, and was very active in the IBA Awards Committee. Generous and kind-hearted, Tom was an active member of St. Bernard's Catholic Church and supported Catholic charities, the St. Francis of Assisi Tuition Assistance Trust, the Rotary Club of Tulsa, and the University of Tulsa. Tom is survived by his loving wife, Karen, of over 36 years, son Patrick with his wife, Margaret, and their daughter, Josie, son Douglas and his wife, Laura, and their daughter, Caroline. Tom is also survived by his brother, Dennis Nally, his wife, Karen, brother Michael Nally and his wife, Maureen, sister Margaret Amaro, and other sister, Kathy Crowley, and her husband, John, and several other brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, and many nephews and nieces, some of which are here today. Tom will be especially remembered for his love of family and friends, his generosity and giving spirit, his competitive nature, and a wonderful smile. Please stand and join the family in unanimous acclamation for a moment of silence as this resolution is passed and it becomes a part of the permanent record of our club and a copy presented to the family. Thank you.
Tom will be missed. One thing I remember the most is his smile. Our committee meetings today, Club Centennial will meet in Parker Hall, Rotary Cares in 234, and Visitor Committee in room 232. On your table, you should see some cards. They're extending notes of encouragement to our Rotarian, Mike Fine. Mike, some of you may know already, and some of you may not, but Mike is finishing radiation treatments and is about to start his chemotherapy for his brain cancer. Sherry Fine tells us that Mike has continued to work, but would really appreciate your well wishes and your prayers. So please be sure to sign the card so that Mike knows that we care. I do want to give a shout out from LeVan Kelly. Saw him last week, and he misses Rotary and his friends. And he just wanted to say hello, so I wanted to be sure to send hello from LeVan. And you're welcome to go see him. He would love to have visitors. I also have a special message for Chief Chuck Jordan. Where are you, Chief? Not only do the women of Tulsa thank you for catching this serial rapist, but I'm sure all the men do as well, and I just wanted to say a big thank you from us. Now, we have, I believe, a little slide for our Kirshner Scholarship. How many of you have heard of the Kirshner Scholarship? It is given by our district, and it is a scholarship for a student that will be traveling abroad. And I'm just going to read something really quick here. We have a candidate. Her name is Julianne Gomez. And Brenda and Eric and Duff and I had an opportunity to interview her, and I'm going to read what Duff said because I couldn't say it any better. I hope you guys are impressed with the candidate, as Eric and I have been over the last several months after numerous communications with her. Her passion and enthusiasm for the opportunity to pursue a career to provide humanitarian assistance and conflicts resolution in the most troubled areas of the world is truly remarkable. I believe the study abroad program she desires to pursue if supported by our Rotary Club, can greatly assist her in her career goals. Further, along the way, I believe we can develop a future model Rotarian as she seems to embody the principles of community service and humanitarian assistance with a compromise in the core of our organization. We did, after our interview, we have decided to back her, and we have presented the application to the district. So cross your fingers, and hopefully we will win the Kirshner Award for Julianne. She will win it so that we can send her abroad. So thank you, Duff. Where are you, Duff? And Eric and Brenda for helping with this. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, Brenda Melancon is coming. She's our chairman of the Rotary Foundation Committee this year, and she has a presentation to give us.
Thank you, President Rhonda. The Rotary Foundation is one of the largest and most important programs of Rotary. Without the foundation, Rotary could not continue its many humanitarian programs and its efforts to promote world understanding, goodwill, and peace. The foundation is a nonprofit corporation sponsored solely by contributions from Rotarians and friends of the foundation who share its vision of a better world. The Paul Harris Society contributions to the Rotary Foundation support education, improvement of health, and alleviation of poverty that enable Rotarians to bring hope and promote international understanding throughout the world. Today, we are here to recognize Greg Keck as a multiple Paul Harris Fellow +8. Greg has been a member of our club since 1996. He has served on committees including IBO Awards, international projects, and Partners in Education. Greg is a Club Foundation Fellow, a multiple MS&I Ambassador, a 2010 recipient of the prestigious Rotarian of the Year Award. Please help me in congratulating Greg on his Paul Harris Fellow +8. Greg has also graciously donated his Paul Harris Fellow recognition points to his family. Joining us today in receiving their Paul Harris Fellow pins and certificates are Greg's wife, Connie Keck, daughters Alex and Catherine Keck. If you could come forward. Connie, Alex, and Catherine, you are being recognized today as Paul Harris Fellows in appreciation for the ways in which your lives parallel the objectives of the Rotary Foundation. Thank you. Not present today, but also receiving Paul Harris Fellow recognition points of Greg's are his daughter Tara Mitchell and his son Connor Keck. Thank you again, Greg, for your continued commitment to Rotary and your example of service above self. Please join me in recognizing our latest Paul Harris Fellows. And for Greg's family to see, if you are a Paul Harris Fellow, can you please stand now and be recognized? This is the group you're joining. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brenda, and congratulations, Greg. And now I would like to have John Raines come to the side mic. Our Sarge is not here today, and John is going to tell us a little something special that's going to be happening.
Great. I also may have a fine. But I want to tell you about a shocking night out with the Tulsa Shock. So on August the 8th, which is a Friday night, we're going to have our first social event of the year. I'm the social event chair this year. And we're going to meet at the BOK Center for a Tulsa Shock game. We will be using the BOK One Oak Club Plaza, so there will be a buffet meal, a cash bar, and the tip-off is at 7, but at 5:30 if you show up, we also have arranged for a meet and greet with the players. You can shake hands, get a photograph, get a t-shirt, all this for the bargain price of $35.
Wow.
So if everybody could look forward to announcements next week. There'll be sign up at the table and you'll get an email. And let's all go have a good time rooting for Tulsa Shock against San Antonio in the season finale. See you then.
Wow. Mark your calendars. That sounds exciting. And please try to attend. We're going to try to do several of these this year and a lot of different things, hopefully. So anyway, try to come if you can. And now we're going to have our Rotarian of the Day, Phil Lakin. You all know Phil, but Phil is the Chief Executive Officer of the Tulsa Community Foundation. He joined our club in March 2000. He is a Club Foundation Fellow and a Paul Harris Fellow. Phil is not only the Rotarian of the Day, but he served as our club president years 2011 and 12. Please welcome past president Phil Lakin.
Thank you all. You really want to go to that shot game so that you can see Baylor alum Odyssey Sims. I had to do it. Sorry. Michael Angelo Caruso teaches people how to be better speakers. It's always great to introduce people who are going to teach us how to be better speakers, so hopefully I don't fumble through this. He is a valued communication consultant to companies and organizations all over the world. Michael has delivered over 2,000 paid presentations and keynote speeches on the subjects of leadership, selling, and internet marketing. He's spoken in Europe, Africa, the Middle East, the Caribbean, and 49 of the 50 states. 49. He missed Hawaii. He's been to Hawaii, but he just hasn't spoken in Hawaii. Surely you can get a paid trip over to Hawaii. I would think that would be high on your priority list. Mr. Caruso is founder and president of Edison House, an international consulting firm specializing in corporate and personal improvement. Edison House clients include Bank of America, Rayovac, Hallmark, the National Institutes of Health, Verizon, United States Navy, Greg Keck will like this, Nissan, and many of you will like this one, Citgo. I wish that he was a relocation specialist for Citgo, because maybe we could get him back. I don't know if you know, Citgo used to be based in Tulsa. We hate losing them. Michael also blogs for D Business Magazine, recently voted the best business magazine in America. Michael educates and entertains, drawing on a previous career in telecommunications industry and a decade as a professional musician. For those of you who want to know, he was a bass guitarist. Mr. Caruso gives back to the community through his membership in Rotary. He was president of his club in Troy, Michigan, 2012 through 2013, and is currently the Public Image Chair for Rotary District 6380 in Michigan and Ontario, Canada. He has graciously agreed to stay after the program if any of you all have questions, and I think he has some signing to do as well. Please join me in welcoming from Royal Oak, Michigan, Michael Angelo Caruso.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back in Tulsa. It is true I teach presentation skills, Phil, but I'm no miracle worker. Special shout out again to Casey for the fantastic lodging at the Doubletree Hotel. If you ever get a chance to stay there or hold an event there, it's a fabulous facility, and they have great people working there as well. We did a nice little stand-up meeting with their staff on customer service. So they're a very sharp team. Last time I was here was the day that T. Boone Pickens, the billionaire, spoke here. How many of you were here that day? That was a good program. They had to put people in another room because we were full up in here. I got a chance to meet Mr. Pickens. I had my photograph taken with him, and he has not called me since. But I'm over that now. I want to tell you that a couple of updates since last time I was here. The first is that I had some surgery, major surgery actually, and I know a lot of you will feel my pain quite literally when I tell you it was hernia surgery. I would ask the men in the room to indicate if you've had hernia surgery, but you wouldn't tell me anyway. So it turns out there's 3 places that men can get hernias. Did you know this? One is up in this general vicinity. It's called the hiatal hernia. Anybody? And you don't actually have to get that one fixed, right? You just keep pushing it in. In fact, if you'd like to stay after, we'll be doing a demo, and people can push your hernia in for you. It's great fun. The second kind of hernia you can get you can't see the podium, and that's probably best, is way down below, and you don't walk around with that one for very long without getting that one fixed. And the third place you can get a hernia is where I had it. It's called an inguinal hernia. It's just above the bottom trunk of the body, and 30% of men get inguinal hernias. Anybody? A couple people, statistically, man, a couple people in this room have it. So what's interesting is that when I had the surgery, it's a very slow heal. I wasn't allowed to lift anything more than 40 pounds. Sorry, 15 pounds, and my roller bag weighs 45 pounds. So I'm a professional speaker, and I had to get on the road with my bag. And the interesting aha for me was that I had to start asking for help with my bag. Imagine this, I can't lift it, so I had to have somebody at my condo building put it into my car. When I got to the airport, I had to wait for somebody to come by to take it out of my car. I started getting really good at asking for help, but I was quite reluctant at that because I'm an independent person and I'm a man. Men don't ask for help, you see. And that was a big aha for me. I got really good at it, though. I was asking women for help. I was asking kids for help. A German Shepherd helped me in Kansas City. And I learned how to ask for help. It occurs to me as Rhonda Renz becomes president, as any Rotary Club gets a new president, that president, in order to be successful, must ask other members of the club for help. And if Rhonda never asks you for help, it's not a good sign. It means she's trying to do everything herself. That's not healthy for the club. It's not healthy for Rhonda. We expect her to tap you on the shoulder and ask you to help the club, and I expect you to help her, because all good presidents engage the club and they get help from others. And I had to learn that when I was president of my club as well. The second update, since last time I was here, I received a tap on the shoulder myself, this one from a past district governor who happens to belong to my club, and he tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around, I said, "Hello, Don." He says, "Hello, Michael. I just wanted to tell you, I just really appreciate all you've done for the club. We love your leadership." I'd been president by that time. "We love your energy. You're teaching people in the club to be better presenters. That's always good. He said, "We really like you." And I said, "Thank you very much." And that's when I knew he was going to ask me for something else. And he said, "And that's why we think you'd be a good district governor." And now I'm going to be district governor in my district, 6380, in Michigan, and part of Canada, 2016, 2017, in a land far, far away. So I thought it'd be fun today in my visit back. 2 years ago, I saw Boone Pickens speak in this room. 2 years later, I'm speaking to the same group. I'm honored. I have a terrific program for you. We're going to start moving around. Is that okay with you, sir? And in order to do that, I'm going to come out and have some fun with you. If you've seen me on YouTube, you know that this is my trademark, actually. It's how I have fun with audiences. It's often why I get booked. People would hire me to speak, and they would say things like, "Well, you're going to come talk to the audience, aren't you?" And I said, "Okay, I'll do that. I'd be happy to do that." One of the things I like to do when I speak to groups is I like to meet the oldest person in the room. The oldest person in the room. Please, no finger pointing. Please stand up if you're over 70 years old. If you're over 70 years old, please stand up. Thank you very much. Please remain standing if you're over 75 years old. If you're over 75 years old, remain standing. Remain standing if you're over 80 years old. 80 or older. Wow. Wow. Remain standing if you're 85 or older. 85 years or older. Anybody 90 years old or older? If you're 90 or older, remain standing. This is unbelievable. How old are you, sir? 91? You said that like a kid. I'm 91 going on 92. How old are you, sir? 91. You're also going on 92. What month were you born? What month were you born? August. What day in August? 28. Mine's the 21st. What month were you born? August 20th. You can sit down. I always like to meet the oldest person in the room. My name is Michael Angelo Caruso. I'm from Troy, Michigan.
I'm delightful to know you.
What is your name, sir?
Dan Rogers,
Dan, how long have you been in Rotary?
since 1995.
Good for you. Well, you joined late in life.
I'm sorry?
You joined Rotary fairly late in life.
Well, I used to come with a dear friend of mine, and he always told me that I knew more people here than he did, and the Lord called him home in 1995.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'll go down and take his place.
Well, good for you. We're so glad you did. Dan, you can be seated. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, sir. And I always like to meet the youngest Rotarian in the room, the youngest Rotarian. Let's do it this way. Let's do the newest Rotarian, the newest Rotarian. Please stand up if you've been in Rotary for a year or less. A year or less. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Great. Great. How about 6 months or less? 6 months or less remain standing. 5 months or less. 4. 3 months or less. 2 months or less. You joined this month. 4 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Yesterday. When did you join? 2 weeks ago. When did you join? 1 week ago. Wow. Fabulous. And I had a chance to meet you a few minutes ago. Delightful young man. Tell everybody your name. I don't imagine you've met everybody yet. Your name and what you do.
Tiger Woods. I'm a professional golfer.
So glad to see you, Tiger. You know, it occurs to me that there's a beverage that we can order, and not everybody knows the name of the beverage because it's regional, I think, but it's called an Arnold Palmer. Have you ever heard of that drink, Tiger?
One of my favorite drinks.
And what is it, Arnold Palmer?
Arnold Palmer is a mix of lemonade and iced tea.
That's correct. Not everybody knows it's an Arnold Palmer. Sometimes you have to say, I'll have a half iced tea, half lemonade. I was just wondering, if that drink's named after Arnold Palmer, what would the Tiger Woods drink have in it? Never mind, I don't need to know. So I want you to meet the oldest Rotarian in the room. Do you have a minute? Does anybody have a camera? Oh, you all have cameras. Come on, man, shoot this. This is a Kodak moment. Dan Rogers, I want you to meet Phil Armstrong. Dan is, well, you've been here. You understand what's happening here. Dan.
I met him when we came in. He's a greeter today.
Okay, great, fabulous. And I was just wondering, Dan, if you have any advice for the newest Rotarian in the room.
No?
I got nothing. Thank you, gentlemen. A round of applause for the guys. You know, I've done that bit all over the country, and it almost always ends better than it did today. You have a handout here. I want you to know that one of the things we're working on in Rotary is membership, that when you show interest in others, others will show interest in you. That's really important. And in order to do that, of course, you got to spend time with people, and you got to pay respect to them. And that's one of the things we just did right now in a fun way with the oldest and the youngest. We also want to talk to you about words that you can use that would be very powerful with people. Extra points if you're in a presentation, and you can get these into the presentation. I'm going to give you the 15 most powerful words you can ever use with another person, the 5 most powerful, the 4, the 3, they add up to 15. We're on page 2 of the handout. Please write the words down. They're not in your notes. The 5 most powerful words you can ever use with another person are, I am proud of you. You can now use those words with both Phil and Dan. The 4 most powerful words are, what is your opinion, or what do you think? What is your opinion, or what do you think? So a lot of times what we do is we ask past presidents of the club what we should do. Raise your hand if you're past president of the great Rotary Club of Tulsa. Yeah, look at this. All the past presidents in the room. A lot of institutional memory, wisdom. You're really smart, aren't you? And I'm going to tell you something. If you ask the past presidents what to do, they'll tell you what they did in their year. because that's what they know. I mean, they have other knowledge about the club, but if you really want to know what we should do in the future, you should ask the brand new people. All the people were just standing up. You should ask them, what should we do about membership? What should we do about dues? What should we do for social outings, right? Ask new people, and they will tell you amazing information. But we normally don't ask them. We ask the older people. I'm just saying this might be, you can talk to both. The 3 most powerful words are will you please. The 2 most powerful words are what? Thank you. And the number 1 most powerful word you can ever use with another person is what? What'd you say? You're correct. It's their name. It's the person's name, which is why, of course, we give everyone name badges when they come to Rotary. I also want to tell you about 5 cool ideas for power signals. We talked about this today with the stand-up meeting with the Doubletree folks. One of the things, of course, when you sending signals to people, there are 2 types of signals: verbal, which is what you say, the 15 words, and nonverbal, which is what you do. When what you do matches what you say, you become very persuasive, very effective, right? When I teach presentation skills, I often remind speakers and people I'm training, salespeople too, they often get up in the front of the room and they say, hello everybody, it's a pleasure to be with you today. So they say it's a pleasure, but they don't smile when they say it, and we don't believe them right away. In 1 second, we don't believe what they say. And if they don't believe you in the first second that you speak, they're never going to believe you at the end when it's time for you to close. You with me on that? So you want to smile when you say you're happy, and it helps, by the way, if you just want to start smiling when you walk into doors, when you walk into rooms, smile as if you own the place. You should smile when you walk into Rotary. You own Rotary. You're a key holder. You're a stakeholder in this great organization. And when you smile when you walk into a room, you walk in with a signal like every problem can be solved. Isn't that true? Every problem can be solved. We are eradicating the world of polio. That's a pretty big problem. I think you'd agree. Now, I do think that when you solve problems, sometimes solving a problem creates another problem. But that's what Rotary's about. We're going to keep solving problems forever. That's why we exist. We also want to walk with purpose, walk a little bit faster than most people. People will respect you more if they think you're busy. And of course, you want to sit in the power seat whenever you can at meetings. Power seat is usually toward the front of the room rather than the back of the room. Most of the leadership. Past presidents, raise your hand. Again, past presidents, raise your hand. Look at almost all of them in the front half of the room. Sir? Yeah. Some things don't need to be said. Okay, we also want to teach you something called the perfect handshake. This is terrific. Would you stand up, sir, Russell, and stand here with me? And Russell, what do you do for a living, please?
Engineer.
Yeah, for a long time, we didn't tell people what we did in Rotary. We didn't talk about work or what we do, and I think the new thing now, Russell, is we tell people what we do. What kind of engineer, what company are you at?
Electrical automatic engineering.
Okay, fabulous. And so would you hold out your hand like this, Russell? I want to show, no, just hold it like that. That'd be great. I want to show everybody the perfect handshake. This little fleshy area here between the thumb and the forefinger is really key to the handshake. And I only spent time on this because I was working the room one time in Kansas City, and it was before the talk, and how are you, Michael Caruso? Nice to meet you, Michael Caruso. Nice to meet you. I got to this 26-year-old kid, and he did everything you could do wrong in a handshake. He didn't look at me. He didn't seem pleased to meet me. My hand fell out of his hand as I was shaking it. And I said to him, because I was thinking about adding a piece to my speech, I said to him, I'm thinking about adding a little piece about how to, shake hands. And I'm just curious. I didn't say your handshake's terrible. I said, I'm curious, where did you learn how to shake hands? And I'll never forget his answer. He looked me in the eye for the very first time, and he said, I learned from watching television. And he was telling me the truth. He didn't have a father. He didn't have a father figure. And no one had ever taught him how to shake hands. And he was going to go his whole life, job interviews, meeting people, including women, shaking hands, terrible handshake. I fixed it for him that day. I hope he's still practicing it like this again. This is called the web, ladies and gentlemen. And when you establish web-to-web contact, you can have a firm, assertive grip. It seems very simple, but a lot of people don't know how to do this. And so there are 3 types of handshakes. There's the firm, assertive handshake, right? There's the bone crusher handshake. And there's a thing called the wet fish handshake. You laugh, but 7 of you have it. When I shake hands with men, I shake hands differently with men than women. Often with men, I rush in the last fraction of a second. Sometimes clap the gentleman on his right shoulder with my left hand. The bigger the dude, the harder I hit him. It's just a guy thing. I never ever hit a woman, sir. A little slower on the uptake. My volume might be a little bit lesser with a woman. And sometimes with a woman, I'll do what's called a two-handed handshake. Always from the bottom, not from the top. And I never ever hit a woman. A round of applause for Russell Gibbs, everybody. So, I also want to cover, you're enjoying the content today, everybody? Yeah, thank you very much, thank you. I'll tell you what, with Rhonda's permission, I would like to give away some information products. Okay with you, Madam President? Only the third female president in the club's history, is that correct? Wow, congratulations, I hope that's a new trend. I want to give away something that I'm very proud of. This is called Present Like a Pro. It's a DVD, so you would watch it and improve your presentation skills. You could share it with your sales team, with your leadership team. It retails for $20 online, and I'm going to make it available for you as part of a package in this giveaway. A couple of books in here, and this is in Fastener audio series. All of this together online is $350. I'm going to give it away in just a few minutes. I'll trade you your email address for a chance to win $350 worth of information products. We'll collect the cards from you in just a second. Would you quietly get them out? And if you share your email address with me, I'll tell you when I'm coming back to town. How's that? And I'm coming back within 90 days. So maybe we'll see each other in the future. But we'll continue that in just a second. I want to also give you a chance to, again, get out your phones if you would. Would you do that for me right now, your cameras, your phones? How many of you have a Facebook application? Would you, on your phone, yeah? How many of you using Twitter? Anybody using Foursquare to check in? Things like this, yeah? Okay. So one of the things we're doing with Rotary is we're trying to get the word out about Rotary. How many of you are Rotarians? Hands up. How many of you are not, let's see everybody, right? How many not Rotarians, visitors? How many visitors in the room? Okay, not bad. Good, you know, would you like to see more visitors at your club? Yeah, so one of the ways to do that is to get what's happening today, for example, out, right? And we're doing it right now through the YouTube video, which is fabulous. But what if, because I know Rotary spends lots of money on things like billboard campaigns. Did you do that here? Billboard campaign, very expensive. We did it in our district, 6380, and when it was done, I said, hey, tell me, we did the billboard for membership, right? And they said, yeah, we sure did. I said, how many members joined as a result of the billboard campaign? That would be good information to have. And everybody got really quiet, you know, because nobody knew the answer to that, because it didn't work. We spent all that money, it didn't work. And you know what works, ladies and gentlemen, is your personal endorsement. That's what works. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now with your smartphone. Would you please pull up your Facebook application? Here's what I want you to do. You can get up right out of your chairs right now if you care to. I want you to come take a picture with me and Chaz, or me and anybody I'm standing next to. We can take a picture if you care to, or you can take one right from where you're standing, where you're sitting, and you push it out to your network. And you say, I'm at Tulsa Rotary, and we have a terrific speaker today. And if you care to say his name is Michelangelo Caruso, that's fine too. The point is, though, that you're pushing out about Rotary. You see, you're promoting Rotary. What if 1.2 million Rotarians checked in on Facebook every week in perpetuity? What if? You know, you tag the place that you're at, you tag the food that you're eating, you tag the people that you're with, you take pictures. Thank you very much, ma'am. You take pictures, right? Here we go. And what happens is you start promoting Rotary in a way outside of this room, outside of this room. We keep promoting to ourselves. When we collect money, who do we collect it from? Ourselves. 1.2 million Rotarians in the world, 320 million in the United States. A lot more money outside this room than inside this room if you're trying to raise money for funds, for anything. So I think these are good ideas, and I'll be available after if you want to take some pictures and that sort of thing. I have a goodbye story for you. Can we collect the cards so we can do the drawing? I've really enjoyed my time. Yes, a question in the back, or you've got cards? Would you collect from the back of the room, sir, and sweep up this way? And could we have a gentleman in the blue striped tie? Would you collect the cards from this part of the room and swing this way? And we'll meet you in the middle here. We'll do the drawing. Sir, in the purple shirt. Yes, thank you. Is that purple? Is it a shirt? We're going to wrap up here. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about? Any issues? Anything I can help you with? Very good. We'll do the drawing in just a second. A question? Great. I love questions because it's spontaneous. This is totally unscripted. What is your name? What do you do?
Paul Bauman. I'm a banker.
All right. And what's your question, sir?
On page 2, we have a killer.
Thank you. On page 2, it's have a killer elevator speech. And this is really good for Rotary. When people say to you, what's Rotary? You should have something good to say, you know, something that's really going to be intriguing. And what I tell people is that Rotary is the best decision I've ever made. And if you are standing next to your spouse or significant other, when they ask you that question, what's Rotary? Instead of saying it's the best decision you've ever made, you might say it's the second best decision I've ever made, and then you'll be friends with everyone in the room. We're going to do a drawing. Thank you. Card's still coming up. $350 worth of information products. They are here. We'll do this. We get a goodbye story, get the program back to Rhonda. We good? You want to practice the, all right, let's do that in just a second. Here we go. Card's still coming up. Thank you very much. I mentioned I'm going to be back in 90 days because I already have a soft offer to come back. And if you'd like to be part of that trip, you can save some money because I think the airfare is going to be paid for and the hotel is going to be paid for. So I'll do leadership training or sales training for your team. I'll give you a Rotary discount on my fee. And by the way, I don't charge for the talk I'm doing today. I'm here on my own volition. And this is my give back to the organization that I love so much. And it works out good for everybody. I do have, and you're all going to ask about this, what if we wanted to get this package, but we don't win it today? I'd love to give it away, but of course they cost me money to manufacture and make. But I will offer you a Rotary special today as a favor to Rhonda, who is my pal, and now Phil, who is my pal, and that is $100 even for the whole package, $100 instead of $350 online. My pleasure. Credit card, check, whatever you want to do is fine with me. Let's do a drawing. Are you a Rotarian, Paula?
Yes, I'm a Rotarian.
I love your glasses. What do you do?
Thank you so much. A Director of School and Community Relations with Tulsa Public Schools. We'd love to have you present as a customer service, you know,
I'd love to.
pro bono. What do you think about that?
You had me right up until then. I often speak to schools. I do most of my pro bono work for Rotary, but let's talk, okay? My personal cell number is on the handout. If you'd like to have me speak to your group, I'd be delighted to talk with you about it. I often come to town and stay for the whole week. I do chamber work, I'll do Rotary work, I'll do corporate work, we'll get it done. I'd like you to do the drawing. Would you mind doing that for me? Close your eyes, please, and choose a winner. Yes. It looks like it says Terry Heritage. Where's Terry? Terry, you win.
She'll give it to the school.
Congratulations. That's a perfect handshake. I will sign the book for you after if you like. Thank you very much. I have a quick goodbye story for you, Rhonda. I think that's all we're going to have time for if it's all right with you. A while back, I'm getting on a flight. And the pilot comes on and he makes a very unusual announcement. He says, ladies and gentlemen, would you please take your seats right away? We'd like to leave early. I never heard of this before. I fly a lot. Have you heard of this? A plane can leave early if everybody's on it. It works like a charm. Everybody sits down and buckles up. And then the pilot comes back on and he says, well, the reason we're leaving early, ladies and gentlemen, is we're expecting weather. And when the pilot says weather, it's never good weather. And he says, we're going to ask the flight attendants to stay seated. We're suspending the beverage service, but we want you to know it's a safe flying condition, even though we call it in the cockpit zero visibility. And then something really funny happened. Everybody looked out the window to see what zero visibility looks like. He was right, man. This was a rocky, herky-jerky flight. Really tough takeoff. One of the most violent takeoffs I've ever experienced. But you know, the higher we climbed, the smoother the flight. And we climbed and we climbed into bright, pristine sunshine. And you know why this is possible, Tulsa? Because the sun is out every day. And all you need to decide as a Rotarian, as a club, is whether you want to fly your plane in the clouds or above them. Isn't that true? I want to do one more thing for you before we go. It's a little gift for Rhonda. We're going to do a little promotion for the Tulsa Rotary Club. Here's how we're going to do it. Stay right in your seats. We practiced this a little bit earlier. It was right about here, I think. And when Eric's ready, we're going to do this. Or we don't need Eric, we just need you, right? Okay. So I'm going to do a little shout out to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. Just act naturally when it's time for you to participate. And that'll be the last thing we do, we wrap up. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michelangelo Caruso. I'm here at possibly the greatest Rotary Club in the world, the Rotary Club of Tulsa, Oklahoma, everybody. At Rotary, we believe in service above self. More information at rotary.org. Thank you very much, everybody. You've been fantastic. Thank you very much. Rhonda.
All right, I'm going to do an exercise. Thank you, Michael. Isn't he awesome? I could not wait till he was going to come. All right, I would like everyone to stand for just a second. This is impromptu, obviously. Now, let's practice that handshake. Everybody turn to your neighbor and practice. Do not leave. I'm not done. All right, time's up. Focus. I've lost you. Okay. A book recognizing today's program will be presented to our partner in education school, Celia Clinton Elementary. The book is The One and Only Ivan, and Michael has already put his signature in there. We have upcoming programs, Bill Blankenship, head coach of TU. And then we have Clifton Talbert is going to be on July 30th. And now, Eric, you ready? And for some light up Rotary fun, as I adjourn this meeting, let this music brighten your day with a little sunshine. We are adjourned.